Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another sort of product review, overview, build tips. You know how we do these things. Okay, what I've got in front of me is a set of Mdf Buildings, laser cut from Sarissa Precision. Now this is their 28mm city block range and the large factory from their industrial. Now there's a couple more buildings than this, but there's no need for, they're exactly just duplicates of these, so they're just off to the side. I've got 8 in total to play with, and I'm working on the a new board for the guys at for the guys at Broken Spirit War Games for Dean. So it should be fun. Now it is way too hot, in this shed of eternal fire to work on the artboard until later. So I'm going to spend the day putting these together and then come back to you at the end of the day and sort of like, showing you all and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to get a really good view at the entire sort of city block range. Now very quickly, first impressions when they turned up, was solid. They've got some weight to them, even the small ones, you know what I mean? They feel solid. Well packed there, vacuum packed obviously. It looks like they've got instructions with them. I don't know how detailed the instructions are yet, so what I'm going to do very quickly now is just pop open this small build. Whenever I do these projects I always start with the smallest and build up. So we'll pop over the small build and we'll just get a quick first impressions before I sort of wander off and start building these things and all that sort of stuff. Alright, okay.
Don't break it, boss.
Yeah, come on. Master craftsman can't even take a plastic packet off. Don't. Right, so, okay. First impressions. They're quite solid. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's quite thick board. Okay, it looks like all the pieces are popped for you. Yeah, there's nothing to pop out, they're all separates. Looks like they work off a lug system. Okay, look at me just splashing them around. Ooh. Yeah, works on a design in depth. Yeah, using layered panels, so that'll be interesting. It looks pretty simple, to be perfectly honest. There were instructions. There are the instructions. Oh, there's the base plate. So yeah, simple base plate. Yeah, and that's what this building looks like. Okay, and instruction wise, yeah, they look pretty simple, to be truthful. I think I'm not going to have to struggle. Oh, now I've said that, I'm going to struggle. It'll be a nightmare. I'm not saying these kits are a nightmare. I've got no real idea, to be truthful, but we're going to give it a go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to crack on. I'm going to spend the day building these. I'll film little bits as I go if I can. Yeah, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll have a really good look and I'll let you know what I think of them. Okay guys, time to start building. So I'm working on the second small building, and they're going together really well, to be truthful. They work on a very simple premise of, like base floors with lugs in, and the lugs simply drop in, and lock in for all the walls. Now, a couple of quick sort of tips, etc. Now, because of the use on central holes, there's nothing sort of holding the corners together. So what I've started doing is using elastic bands, and running them round to actually secure the corners and hold them steady while they dry. Okay. Also on top of that, you'll notice that it works on these inserts. Do you see that? Probably that's the better one to show you, isn't it? Yeah. This is a separate piece, and then by putting it on, you get that design in depth. Now, obviously, it just drops in. There's nothing to hold it in place, etc. So what I've done is I've used a couple of little pegs, just to hold it against this front piece. Which is lugged in, okay, just to secure it. What I found was without the pegs it sort of bowed at the edges and you sort of got gaps in the windows. So when you're doing these, throw some pegs on just to secure it. Another little thing that you really need to sort of be aware of, that I sort of made a mistake with this one, is these lugs. Okay, the natural assumption is, they're for when you do the next floor, they're to lock that in, and they're not, On these, the side pieces, the lugs go upwards to allow you to stack the floors. So in reality, what you actually do is, instead of putting it in like that and locking it in, you actually put the flat side down. Okay, and like I say, it confused me the first time. I did it wrong. I got them wrong way round, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, why why it was sliding all over the place. Okay, if the guys from Sarissa are watching, it would be cool if you had a couple of extra lugs, especially with this, because you get sort of a pivot effect. Yeah, because it pivots around that one point. Now, it wasn't so much of an issue with this one, but with the roofs I found it a little bit difficult because they're quite long and thin. Okay, it would have been nice to have a couple extra lugs just to drop in there. It's not a deal breaker, you just need to be aware of it. It just takes a little bit of positioning, guys. Yeah, so putting them together, I did find it was easier to do the front and the back wall first, yeah, and then drop the sides into it and then fix them down. So those are the basic techniques you need to put these together. The only other thing is with this doesn't lock in, it simply sits on top of this rim. Okay, and so I just found what I needed to do was, once I'd got the elastic bound around the edges and I was happy with the position, put it on top and then just put a heavy book on top of it to make sure you get a decent join, and it's worked perfectly fine. It's really nice. I've got to say, yeah, as I'm playing with this stuff, I mean, this is the first small build, obviously, yeah, it's solid, it's sturdy stuff, it's got weight to it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I really do like it, I really do like it. Yeah, drop that in there. Oh. Right, I'm going to crack on. I'll come back to you when I've got more to tell you. See you in a minute, guys. Oh yeah, dropped in. There it goes. Really nice. Hey guys, I'm working on the second one of these apartment buildings at the moment, yeah, and this is slightly different to the other build because if you look at these stairs, they raise the floor up, okay? Now, the building itself has got this insert, yeah, which is, this is the inside of it, yeah, and it drops in, yeah, and it's supported on these four little struts, yeah, one in each corner. Now when you put it in, it works fine, it goes straight down, but the issue I'm having is that because it's not supported in the middle, yeah, when I press on there it can bow, yeah, and it's not an issue with the kit because when you leave it in glue, if you put glue on, it'll be perfectly fine, but I'm doing just a little bit more because, you know, I want to make sure it's all solid, etc. So there's two options in that case. Yeah, now the first one is something like this. Okay, and this is a support pillar, and it is made up of 11 of the inserts from the windows. Yeah, to make a simple support pillar, I can drop that slap bang in the middle, yeah, and then drop that down, and that will stop that completely, and it sorts the problem. Okay, so there's that solution. On top of that, another thing that you can do is make your own little struts. Now all you've got to do is take them, put them next to a bit of balsa wood, a bit of sprue, or you know, anything reasonably solid you can cut out some bits and just add them around. Now I'm going to be doing both, the support pillar and a couple of extra supports just in the middle over here, yeah, and it'll firm it all up for me. So there's another one done. Next little video is going to be on the stairs because they were a bit fiddly, so I'll show you that in a minute. Right, we'll crack on. Now the trickiest parts of these kits that I found is the actual stairs. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, there's been quite a bit of frustration initially until I sort of worked out a method. So I'm going to take you through the method and hopefully it'll help you and stop you swearing like I was swearing with it. I mean, the first set of stairs, they probably took me about 25 minutes to do. I've got it down to a couple of minutes now. Okay, so the stairs come basically two stair sides, a top, and then a load of individual steps and the backers for the steps. Now they don't interlock, they just slot, they rest on each other, which means it's quite wobbly. So what I tend to do, yeah, is I pull one of the backer steps out, that's the ones without the actual lugs in, yeah, and very quickly, yeah, put PVA on the teeth of the top. It's a bit much there. Yeah, you then drop the teeth in. Okay, get that. Probably better if I do this standing up. Yeah, get that, stand it up, drop the other panel in. Yeah, and while it's dropped in, get this loose bit and just slide it at the back here. And just slide it in. Because what that'll allow you to do is, if you're careful, is grip it and it won't collapse. Okay, now the next thing you need to do is glue in a bottom step, yeah, just to secure it. So I'm going to put a bit of PVA on both sides. A bit much, but we'll be alright. Grab one of my steps. Yeah, drop that down into that. Okay, and there you have it. Yeah. Now those are all in place. All I'm going to do is just put it up there and let it dry. Yeah, and I'll come back to it once it's dried. Okay, it's not completely dry yet, but it's tacky enough for us to do the next step, or specifically the next 2 steps. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop in these other 2 steps. Yeah. So gripping it once again, nice and gently, but firmly enough that it doesn't wobble. Yeah, and then drop our PVA in on those 2 steps. Yeah, drop those in, clean up the excess PVA. Push them down just gently. Don't push them too hard, you don't want to snap the steps. Yeah, and once they're in, yeah, we've got all the steps in, etc. Yeah, all we got to do now is wait for those to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll put the step backers in. Right, now they're all tacky dry, i.e. they're dry enough just to stick down. Yeah, it's time to put the final bits in. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I've got to be very careful that I don't wiggle it. Oh, see, one step's dropped out already. I'll be very gentle here. Yeah, I'm going to put glue on the back of those slats and then on the tops of these pieces, and then they'll drop in to create the back of the stairs. So let's quickly do that now. Now the longer you leave it to dry, the easier this process is, obviously. Yeah, this is still sort of tacky, so I'm expecting I might have 1 or 2 problems, but we should be alright. So glue on there. Yeah, and then it's time to just drop them in. He says, so casually. Come on, in you go. Yeah. So one's dropped in just like that, and then it's time just to do the rest. Right, next job is just gently push those steps down. Careful. Yeah, and then gently push those forward. Oh, careful, careful. See what I mean about it being fiddly? Yeah, without a bottom brace it really does wobble a lot, and I've now used the piece I was using as a bottom brace because it's on the steps. Yeah, so it's just a matter of wiggling it a little, getting everything lined up. It would have been a lot better if this had some sort of locking mechanism. Just something, like a crossbar across there, just to lock this piece. But it doesn't, so we've got to crack on. And that step's risen up now. That step's fallen down. Yeah, I need to push that up there. Yeah, I need to drop that back down there. Oh, don't fall. And there we go. Yeah, pretty much in now. We're looking good. There we are. Right, and there we have it. There's our steps done. Okay, it's a little bit sloppy. The PVA will disappear, obviously, because it's a little bit fiddly, etc. But it's all good. Yeah. So that's it. That's the easier way of doing the steps. If you leave them for slightly longer and let them dry, it'll be a bit better. Ideally, it needs some sort of, cross piece, stop it sort of translating from side to side. Yeah, so I'm going to finish these off, and then that about rounds it up. They're all pretty much done now, so we'll come up with a roundup real shortly, guys. So guys, they're all built now, and I've got to say, putting them together was quite enjoyable. They did have some fiddly bits. There are a few minor issues, so let's quickly run through what I saw and the sort of the issues I found. Right, because of the central lugging, yeah, on these panels, there was a little bit of waving from side to side. Not a major issue, you just need to keep an eye out for it. With this warehouse unit, yeah, it's got more lugs on it, so it wasn't a problem at all. The second issue was the sort of stairs. Yeah, you saw me fiddle with those. They're doable. Yeah, they could do with a brace. Yeah, to stop them from wobbling. But you know, you can do them. Just take your time doing in parts. Yeah, finally it was the internal floors and putting those little props in. Yeah, to keep them sort of stable. And I've done that, and it's worked out absolutely fine. So with regards to putting the kits together, I did have a couple of other little issues with the warehouse kit. The other issues were sort of common across the entire range. You know, they weren't major issues, but you know, they did exist. With the warehouse, yeah, there was a couple of other little things. Now, first off, yeah, if I bring this up and I can show you, yeah, obviously they've got interior detail, etc. It's not as detailed as the as the exterior, but you know, they do come with basic interior detail. Now these doors, okay, now these are the doors for the warehouse unit. They fit in at the bottom there. Okay, now on the instructions there's no mention of these stands. Yeah, so you sort of got to spot those pieces and sort of figure it out for yourself. But basically, they allow the doors to stand up. Yeah. Now I've not glued the doors in or put stands on the other side because I'm not sure what Dean wants me to do with these. The other little issue I had with the warehouse unit is those pillars. Okay, and I'll fire a picture up in a second, but the instructions say sort of big block at the bottom, little block at the top, whereas actually it's little block, then big block, then little block, then big block to get that pillar look. Okay, so you know, you'll find you've got a few extra pieces when you pop them out. You'll look at the instructions and it won't take you long to figure out that, you know, you need to do that. Other than that, really nice. Yeah, I mean, this is a big piece, but those were my issues. Okay, now none of those issues were deal breakers. None of them made me think this kit is rubbish. None of them made me think I wish I hadn't got these kit. I was flustered by the stairs a couple of times before I figured it out, but you know, it was figured out. So, on the good side, what do I think? I think it's good terrain, guys, in all honesty. It's big. I mean, look at the size of it. Do you know what I mean? That's a Space Marine. This stuff is big terrain. Yeah, it's sturdy. You know what I mean? It's solid. The materials are solid. It goes together solid, which means this is brilliant for tournament terrain, for club terrain, for shop terrain. Yeah, if you've got any situation where you're not sure, you know, how careful someone's going to handle it, then this is good terrain. All the fine details which are likely to break, such as the railings, are well out of the way. Yeah, so I've got no concern. There's nothing sticking out up high to be caught by hands, etc. So, really good overall. Interesting mix of buildings, yeah, all modular. This is the commercial fronts, these are the apartment blockments, this is the corner build, obviously this is the warehouse. Now, one of the things I really did like about this is the idea that you can do things like this, which is take the floor off there, yeah, take that roof off there, I'll drop that roof on there, yeah, drop that one on there, and you get undulating height. And because of this sort of ramp effect here, yeah, you get staggered height as well, which means buy a few of these and you can make like an urban board where all the roofs are sort of slightly off, and you know, there's benefits from shooting down from one to another, and they're easily swap aroundable. You know, you can easily swap around. I know the windows don't go, but you know, that's easy to fix. The corner pieces, my only little gripe with the corner pieces is I'm not sure if Sarissa do a mirrored version, because I've got two versions like this, so I can't put them next to each other and look like it's going down a back alley, because the front sort of, the posh end is on this side on the other piece. Yeah, so I don't know if they do mirrored pieces. If they do, I probably need to grab one. Yeah, but really nice build. Once again, yeah, internal detail, it's there. Yeah, the only other pieces that have internal detail are the ones that have the steps up on the ramp, so these. Yeah, so there you go, like that. Yeah. So, do I like them? Yes, I do. Yeah. Value for money, what do I think? Right, value for money is always a difficult one because it really depends on how much you spend on your trade and how much disposable income you've got. But, I mean, you're running from, yeah, approximately £15 for the basic builds. These are moving up, these are moving up to about 20, 25, and then £50 for the warehouse unit. Now, £50 is a lot of money for a piece of terrain, but it's huge, guys. I mean, it's massive. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, overall, very good value for money in my opinion. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Is there anything else I could really... There's no other negatives I can really say about them. You know, like I said, there's a few little teething issues. But then again, what kit is perfect? I mean, I've had teething issues on every kit I've worked with, but none of these are deal breakers. It's a lovely little range, to be perfectly honest. I'm glad that, you know, the guys over at Sarissa sent it over for this project. So, big thanks to the guys over at Sarissa for sending it over for the Broken Spirit project. Big thanks for Dean over at Broken Spirit for, you know, organising this and getting these over to me. These are going to get put up while I work on how to convert them, so, and how to jazz them up and do... Oh, oh, bless me. Yeah, so I've got to work that sort of stuff out, so you'll be seeing them again. Now, you'll notice that the industrial unit, the industrial factory, hasn't been done. I've actually put that to one side because I want to do that as a separate build. Yeah, but these are all part of their city block range, whereas the industrial one isn't. It's part of their industrial range, even though it does fit with this. So guys, that's Sarissa Precisions city block range. I've got to say, I really like it, guys. I really do. Okay, guys, obviously I'll be coming back to you. Next show will be live Wednesday night, 9:30. We'll be working on the foreground stoic arms, guys. Right, guys, I'll see you soon. All the best. Ta-da!